And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I've really never known what to think of Rorschach and his ink blot tests. You know, they're interesting, but do they really work? How useful are they? I couldn't tell you. I'm not an expert psychologist or really have any kind of expertise along that line. However, I do have some degree of expertise on games, so I think I can tell you a little bit about this game, Rorschach. And it's an interesting game, the idea of looking at ink blots. In fact, it's been done before in a game called Inkblot. But this game takes a little bit different of a style. It takes mechanics from a few party games and actually has a very interesting idea involved with the game. The problem with this game is that even with some interesting ideas, some very, very nice components, it just doesn't, since it's a party game, it just doesn't leave you with that, woohoo, what a great game, let's play it again. Kind of, yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah, what else is there? And that's really what we're looking at when you play this game. To begin the game, you put out a certain number of these inkblot pictures. It depends on how many players are playing the game. And there's a certain degree of randomness because they're double-sided, and there's quite a few of them involved in the game. And then each one is assigned a number. Each player who's playing the game is given an 8-sided die of their color, and then there's a whole pile of chips next to the board that match these colors. As you can see, the green color there matches the green die. And there's enough here for 8 players to play. So we have 8 different colored 8-sided dice. Now, on a player's turn, basically they turn over one of these cards. For example, this one here says, which one is a weapon? Everybody will secretly pick which one they think is a weapon, marking that with their die. So let's say, for example, I think that 3 is a weapon because it looks kind of like a crossbow to me here. And so I have 3. Then everyone reveals their dice at the same time. Let's say, for example, that orange picks 5 and I pick 3. Okay, I guess there is no 5. There's only 1 through 4. Orange picks 4, blue picks 1, and red picks 4. Everyone gets chips based on if they match other people or not. For example, red and orange matched each other, so orange gets a red chip and red gets an orange chip. Blue and purple did not match anybody, so they each get a chip of their own color. If you already have a chip of the color that you're supposed to get, then you don't get any more chips. And for example, let's say that purple put down a 4 also, then purple would have gotten a red and an orange chip, orange would have gotten a red and a purple chip, and red would have got an orange and a purple chip. So you're trying to get one of every color chip to win. So you're trying to match other people, but at least in one round, you're trying not to match anyone and trying to be unique. And the likelihood of that happening isn't very high, usually, or at least very quickly, but once you have one of every chip, you win the game and the game's over. You can also play where you take out one of these every turn, but usually you're just drawing more cards. Which one is a weapon? Which one looks the most aggressive? Which one looks the most elegant? You know, and there's more, and I don't want to spoil the game for you completely. But that's interesting. I like the idea of trying to get your chips. I like the idea of matching other people, which comes from some games, and then matching no one, which comes from other games, and putting them together. The problem is sometimes it happens quickly. They'll say, which one looks like a spaceship? And there will be one in there, you know, maybe like this one here, and this one looks like a spaceship maybe, and none of the other ones are remotely close. Everybody matches everybody else. All you have to do then is on the next turn not match anyone. So everyone tries to do that. The person who succeeds wins the game in 2 rounds. So we play that once you get one of each color, that's just a point, and the first person to 3 points wins, or the first person to 2 points. Some way to make the game last a little bit longer. Now, the fun in the game is supposed to be after everyone picks it, you say, how could you think that this was feminine? Or how can you think that this was aggressive? And you say, well, look, there's the teeth, and there's discussions back and forth, and this happens. The problem is it's more of like, yeah, I kind of see what you're talking about. There's not a whole lot of, you know, I can't believe you wrote that. You know, I can't believe you picked that one. You know, so there's just not a whole lot of back and forth hilarity. And in a party game, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Either, you know, maybe a good brain burner, which doesn't have to be funny, or something that's funny, and this isn't really either. Now, I like the components, the fact that the dice and the chips match each other almost exactly in color. They're very good quality. These aren't just tiddlywinks. They're nice, solid plastic chips. That's good. I like the fact that you're trying to get all of them. I like the little wooden tokens. There's a decent amount of ink blots. There's an okay amount of cards to pick from. It'd be interesting, I guess, maybe if someone could make up their own question. It's an okay party game. Yeah, it can cover up to 8 people, and with more people, there's more people to match, and it will last a little bit longer. But even still, you're going to find yourself matching half the people in one turn. And the only way this game is really going to be interesting is when there's a large group of people, and then you have that one person who, for some reason, you cannot match, and you keep trying to match them, but they're also trying to match you. And so it's not as differentiation as you might think. There's not a whole lot of I'm trying to match you, and then you're trying to get away. So maybe it's a mixture of apples to apples and compatibility. It's a whole pile of stuff thrown into one box. And while it's very nice components and it works okay, okay is probably not good enough for a party game. We're looking for something that's really fun, and this is just fun. And I can't really recommend a game that's just okay.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.